Welcome, everyone, to the Friday series called Letting Your Light Shine, based on Matthew 5, verses 15 through 16, where Jesus commands us to shine our light before people. Why? So they may see our good works, our good deeds, and may glorify our Father in the heavens. In this video series, I only highlight good news, such as random acts of kindness, as well as humorous, educational, and inspirational thoughts to help keep everyone encouraged during these trying times. And they can get pretty trying sometimes, so we need encouragement every now and then. And on that note, let's start with some good news. A man who lives in Queensland, Australia, says he's lucky to be alive after a remarkable chain of events set in motion by his dog's barking, which helped save his life during a sudden medical emergency. Chris shared, "I really shouldn't be here right now. The odds were stacked against me so much. It's really pretty much a miracle." The frightening ordeal began shortly after Chris's partner, Linda, had left the house. Their dog, Sally, had gotten outside, so Chris stepped out to bring her back. But after taking just a few steps outside, Chris collapsed. Unbeknownst to him, he had gone into cardiac arrest. Well, Sally's sudden barking quickly turned out to be the life-saving factor. Her loud, persistent bark caught the attention of a woman working at a nearby general store. Curious and concerned, she stepped outside to see what was happening and spotted Chris lying on the ground, not moving. One of her workers, Renee, immediately called Australia's emergency number, 000, if you're ever there, starting a rapid response that would soon grow into an extraordinary team effort. Now get this, around that same time that this is happening, a driver just happened to pass by who had just recently completed a CPR course, and he stopped right away to help. Then came another remarkable twist of fate. It turned out an off-duty paramedic named Brendan lived right next door. Renee woke him up and he rushed over to assist. Brendan helped administer CPR and was even able to provide clot-busting medication, something paramedics are trained to give with proper authorization, of course, and I'm sure he got that before he gave it to him. And by the way, even though he suffered a heart attack, in order to give CPR, the heart has to stop beating. So the man was dead if they were doing CPR. But soon after, first responders arrived and airlifted Chris to the hospital by helicopter. And doctors later performed surgery to insert stents and open the blocked arteries that had caused the cardiac arrest and subsequent death. Looking back, Chris credits everyone involved, his dog included, for giving him another chance at life. From Sally's urgent barking to quick-thinking store workers, a passerby trained in CPR, a paramedic leaving next door, every piece of the puzzle came together at exactly the right moment in the quick arrival of EMS. And thanks to that incredible chain of people stepping in to help, Chris survived, and today he's doing better than ever. Pretty amazing. That's a God thing, by the way, if you didn't recognize that. And now to our fun fact of the week. Did you know that Times Square was originally called, anybody know? Long Acre Square, until it was renamed in 1904 after the New York Times moved its headquarters to the newly built Times building, and now it's called Times Square. Pretty cool. And now here's our riddle of the week. I bet you some of you smart people out there are going to get this one. Before Mount Everest was discovered, What was the highest mountain on earth? Pause if you need more time and don't look it up. And the answer is Mount Everest. It was still the highest, even if no one knew about it. Yet, here's another fun fact, that if you measure the mountain from the base to the top, Mount Everest is third. In Hawaii, Mauna Kea is actually the highest mountain measured from the seafloor, and Mauna Loa following a close second, since both came from volcanoes from the ocean floor. So if you measure from there to the top, they're both higher than Mount Everest. There you go. Now you know. And I've been on Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa. And I believe Mauna Loa is spewing lava still, maybe. And this leads to our random act of kindness. When 18-year-old Brandon Simmons answered his front door in McDonough, Georgia, he had no idea that a life-changing moment and one of his childhood heroes was standing just on the other side. Waiting to greet him was NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal, along with members of the Henry County Sheriff's Office, all there to deliver a surprise that left the teen nearly speechless. Simmons, who survived a devastating car accident that left him paralyzed from the chest down and fighting for his life, was being gifted an unforgettable trip to Minneapolis to spend a weekend as a VIP guest of his favorite basketball team, the Minnesota Timberwolves. The surprise was made possible by Dream On 3, a nonprofit that grants sports-themed dreams to children and young adults facing life-altering conditions. But what happened during the surprise made the moment even more emotional. As the crowd gathered on his front porch, Simmons slowly stood up. Using a walker, the determined teenager rose to his feet, showing just how far he had come since the accident. That doctors once believed he had only 1% of even surviving, much less walking. The moment visibly moved O'Neal, who exclaimed, "I didn't know you was walking." It kind of put a tear to my eye, but I'll cry in public. I'm happy for you. You have an army behind you, and we love you and support you. I like Shaquille, man. He's a pretty cool guy. The connection between Simmons and O'Neal actually goes back years before this. As a young athlete, Simmons once played on a Shaq-sponsored basketball team called the Georgia Express. But then, sadly, tragedy struck. A horrific car accident flipped his vehicle into a ditch, leaving him with severe injuries and paralysis. He spent more than a month in the ICU before being transferred to Shepherd Center for specialized spinal cord rehabilitation. But even in the darkest moments, get this, he's 17-year-old kid at that time, Simmons refused to give up. In fact, the first thing he asked to do after doctors removed his medical halo brace was go to the gym to shoot a basketball. His determination has inspired everyone around him. And O'Neal added, Brandon is the definition of toughness. Life threw something at him that most people would never imagine facing, and he keeps fighting with heart. Last May, Simmons also achieved another milestone when he crossed the stage to receive his high school diploma with the class of 2025, a moment that brought many in the audience to tears, as you might imagine. And now, he's about to experience another dream come true. Simmons and his family will travel to Minneapolis for an unforgettable sports weekend. He'll sit courtside at the Timberwolves versus Raptors game, explore behind the scenes at the arena, and even meet some of the players who inspired him during his recovery, which includes stars Anthony Edwards and Rod Dillingham. And I'm sure they're probably going to load him up with a bunch of presents too. For a young man who once faced nearly impossible odds, the journey ahead feels like a victory in itself. And thanks to the support of his family, the community, and even one of basketball's biggest legends, as well as this nonprofit organization, Brandon Simmons is proving that determination and a little kindness can help turn even the toughest battles into moments of hope. And now here's our inspirational thoughts for the week ahead. And these are all from Rabindranath Tagore. What a name. Number 1, I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted, and behold, service was joy. Number 2, you can't cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water. You gotta move. Number 3, don't limit a child to your own learning, for he or she was born in another time. Number 4, depth of friendship does not depend on length of acquaintance. Number 5, death is not extinguishing the light. It is only putting out the lamp because the dawn has come. I really like that one. Number 6, let us not pray to be sheltered from dangers, but pray to be fearless when facing them. Amen to that. And finally, number 7, love is the only reality, and it is not a mere sentiment. It is the ultimate truth that lies at the heart of creation. Amen to that one too. And that brings us to the best news of all, the good news of Jesus Christ. So here's our Bible verses of the week from Psalm 26:12 and Romans 12, verses 1 through 2. My foot has stood on level ground in the worship assemblies, and so I will bless Yahweh on bended knee. Therefore I implore you, brothers, by the deep-seated compassions of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and well-pleasing to God, which is your divinely logical service. And do not be conformed to this age, but be transformed by the divine renewal of the mind, for you to prove the will of God, the good and well-pleasing and mature. I want to thank everyone for watching and remind you to let your light shine in whatever way you can. I hope this series helps everyone stay encouraged at all times and encourage other people, folks. Also, please join me Sunday morning as we continue our series on the backgrounds of the New Testament letters, and Tuesday afternoon for a Bible study called Talking About Jesus, where we're continuing a new study on the history of denominations. I truly hope you'll join us for all of these and share these with everybody that you know. And now, may God bless you and keep you, and may His glorious light shine upon you. Have a great weekend, my friends. See you next time.